tranquil mountains of ancient Tibet, there lived a wise and enlightened monk named Master Jiān. His reputation for wisdom spread far and wide, attracting seekers from all corners of the land. People came to him with problems, seeking answers and guidance. His simple, peaceful way of life was filled with moments of quiet meditation, long walks, and teaching his disciples about life's deeper meanings. Master Jiān's most profound teaching, however, wasn't about renunciation or spiritual enlightenment. It was about the power of saying no, a small but often misunderstood word that carried the essence of self-discipline, focus, and inner peace. The arrival of the prince. One summer morning, as the sun painted the sky in hues of gold and crimson, a royal entourage approached the monastery. At its center rode Prince Tenzin, a young and ambitious leader known for his sharp mind, but also for his struggles with managing his kingdom's responsibilities. The weight of expectations had begun to crush him, and he sought relief from the revered Master Jiān. The prince was greeted by the serenity of the monastery and the calm presence of the monks. But what caught his attention most was the simplicity of Master Jiān's dwelling. No grand halls, no decorations, just a small hut surrounded by lush trees and a bubbling brook. It was in stark contrast to the opulence of the prince's palace, and in that moment, Tenzin felt a deep longing for peace. After a formal greeting, the prince spoke. "Master Jiān, I come not only as a prince, but as a man burdened by the demands of life. My kingdom thrives, but I feel trapped in endless obligations. Every day I am pulled in 100 directions. I cannot refuse anyone, and in trying to please all, I feel as if I am losing myself. How do I find peace amidst these demands?" Master Jiān looked at the prince with kind eyes and smiled. "You are suffering because you have not yet understood the power of no. The power of no." The prince was taken aback. "No, but how can such a small word change my life? I am a prince. I must say yes to my people, to my advisors, to my responsibilities. How can I refuse them?" Master Jiān motioned for the prince to sit beside him. "Let me tell you a story," he began, "about a young archer who lived many years ago in a village not far from here." The prince listened closely as the master continued. The archer's dilemma. There was once a boy named Karma, known throughout the village for his exceptional skill in archery. His arrows never missed their mark, and he could shoot faster and more accurately than anyone else in the land. Soon, word of his talent spread beyond the village, and people from neighboring towns began to seek his help. One day, a merchant came to Karma, asking for protection on a dangerous journey through the mountains. Karma, eager to prove himself, agreed. Soon after, a local farmer approached, seeking Karma's assistance in guarding his crops from wild animals. Again, Karma said yes. Before long, every person who had a problem came to Karma. They all needed his skills, his time, and his energy. And Karma, believing that saying yes was the way to show his worth, could never refuse. He took on more and more tasks until one day, exhausted and distracted, Karma missed his target during a critical moment and nearly caused harm to an innocent bystander. Karma realized too late that in saying yes to everyone, he had stretched himself too thin. His archery, once precise and focused, became sloppy and unfocused. His mind, once clear, was now filled with endless worries. He had lost the joy that had originally drawn him to archery. Karma, disheartened, sought out a wise sage who lived atop a mountain. When he explained his situation, the sage responded simply, "You forgot the most important lesson of archery. Focus. You aimed your arrows at too many targets, and in doing so, you hit none." The sage continued, "There's great power in saying no. It allows you to protect your energy and focus on what truly matters. To master the bow, you must master your mind. And to master your mind, you must learn the power of refusal." With this advice, Karma returned to his village, and from that day forward, he was careful with his commitments. He said no when necessary, and in doing so, he regained his focus and his joy. The prince's revelation master paused, letting the story settle into the prince's heart. "The young archer's dilemma is much like your own, Prince Tenzin," he said gently. "In your desire to please everyone and fulfill every obligation, you have forgotten to protect your own inner peace. By saying yes to every demand, you have scattered your energy. The word no is not a rejection of your duties, but a way to preserve your strength for what truly matters." The prince looked thoughtful. But how can I say no without offending my people or failing in my duties? Master Jiān smiled. No does not always mean refusal. It can also mean discernment. When you say no to what is unnecessary, you are saying yes to what is essential. By choosing wisely where you invest your time and energy, you will be able to serve your people with clarity and purpose, rather than exhaustion and resentment. The lesson of the garden. Seeing the prince's concern, Master Jiān stood and motioned for the prince to follow him to the monastery's garden. There, a small plot of land was filled with vibrant flowers, neatly tended and flourishing. "Do you see this garden, Prince Tenzin?" Master Jiān asked. "It is full of life, because I tend to it with care. But if I allowed every plant to grow here unchecked, if I said yes to every seed that the wind blew into the soil, this garden would become overgrown and chaotic. I must say no to the weeds, to the plants that would overcrowd the flowers, in order to preserve its beauty." The prince nodded, understanding dawning on his face. "In my kingdom, I must do the same, tending to what truly matters and allowing myself the freedom to say no to what would overwhelm me." Master Jiān placed a hand on the prince's shoulder. Exactly. When you say no to unnecessary demands, you are saying yes to your well-being, yes to your purpose, and yes to your people in a way that truly serves them. A new beginning. Prince Tenzin returned to his palace with a renewed sense of clarity. Over the following weeks, he began to implement the wisdom Master Jiān had shared. He learned to discern between what was truly important and what was a distraction. When his advisors presented him with tasks that were not aligned with his vision, he politely declined. At first, some were taken aback by the prince's newfound firmness, but as time passed, they began to see the benefits. The prince was more focused, his decisions more thoughtful, and his leadership more effective. He no longer tried to do everything, but what he did undertake, he did with full attention and dedication. The power of saying no allowed Prince Tenzin to reclaim his life, his peace, and his purpose. And in doing so, he became a better leader, one who knew the value of boundaries, focus, and balance. Conclusion. Master Jiān's teaching was simple but profound. No is not a word of rejection, but of self-respect. It is a tool that allows us to direct our energy wisely, to protect our inner peace, and to focus on what truly matters in life. For the prince, for Karma the archer, and for each of us, learning the power of saying no is the key to unlocking a life of clarity, balance, and purpose. As the great Master Jiān once said, "In saying no to the distractions of the world, we are saying yes to the deeper calling of our soul."